Well, the car of the future took flight today. The X2 flying car, there it is, took off in an unmanned test flight in Dubai.
And now it's time for Vantage Shots, images that tell the story. In China, a flying car takes its first test flight. In Saudi Arabia,
imagine when you are leaving for office and instead of the road, there is traffic in the sky. Yes, this is no longer a fantasy. China has done such a feat that has surprised the world. A car that can fly straight in the air at a speed of 80 miles per hour, and that too for a full 25 minutes. This is not a dream, concept model, or just a showpiece, but a reality that is flying on today's Earth. China's plan is not limited to cars only, but it wants to create a new economic world through low-altitude economy, i.e., drones, air taxis, and mini-planes flying at low altitude. But the question is human life ready for this? Is the traffic now going to rise from the ground and enter the clouds? And most importantly, will it be possible to adopt such flying technology in reality? Or will there be legal, technical, and security-related hurdles in the way? In this video, we will know about the technical strength of this car, its price, and also whether the world is really ready for the journey of a new era. So before moving ahead in the video, do subscribe to the channel, because on Decode Wire we bring such mind-blowing stories that reveal the future. When the traffic jams slow you down and pollution makes every breath a burden, do you ever think of flying in the sky? Now, it is not just a matter of thought, it has become a reality. In the Chinese city of Guangzhou, Xpang has done something that has given a new hope to every person suffering from traffic jams. This flying car, named Xpang X2, looks no less than a futuristic Hollywood movie, but its operation is completely based on today's technology. This flying machine of Xpeng can not only fly straight from the ground, the wonder of eVTOL technology, but it does not require an airstrip or a long runway to operate it. Just one button, and you are straight in the air. It has been designed by Xpeng Aero HT, a subsidiary of Xpeng, which is working specifically on flying vehicles. When this branch was launched in 2020, no one had imagined that its prototype would be ready so soon and it would start flying over cities. Peng aims to realize advanced air mobility, AIAM, and create a transport system that is zero-emission and congestion-free. When the Xpang X2 was first introduced to the public in 2021, everyone was stunned. It was not a normal vehicle, it was like a giant drone in which two people could sit comfortably. Its design has been kept in the shape of a teardrop, i.e., a drop of water, so that it moves forward by cutting through the air easily, not only to look beautiful, but also to save energy. The Xpang X2's design is as attractive as it is practical. It looks about as big as a mid-size car, about 17 feet long and about the same width, but just over 4 feet tall. It weighs about 680 kilograms and can easily carry a load of about 160 kilograms, 2 people and their luggage. What's most special about it is its construction. The X2 is made using the same aeronautical aluminum that's used in real aircraft to keep it extremely light, and is covered with a layer of carbon fiber to keep it strong and not add weight. There are 8 separate rotors on the body, each with its own motor attached. This design not only maintains stability, but also provides safety. If one rotor fails, the rest can continue flying. Talking about technology, X2 can connect to 4G and 5G networks, which provides real-time updates and makes communication easy even while flying. Its flight range is about 75 kilometers, and it can stay in the air for about 30 minutes at a time. Its maximum speed can reach 130 kilometers per hour. Interestingly, this flying car easily fits in any garage or parking space like a normal car, No helipad or hangar is needed. And when it is on the ground, it can be easily pushed by just 1 or 2 people with the help of small wheels. As far as safety is concerned, Xpang X2 is not made like a toy. It has advanced safety systems. Each rotor works separately, and in case of any problem, the other rotors can compensate for it. It has sensors inside it that constantly scan the environment around it. If needed, it can also do automatic return and landing. It has 360-degree cameras, live video monitoring, ground surveillance system, and even an emergency parachute. And what makes it really special is its zero-emission flight system. No smoke, no noise, no fuel smell. It flies absolutely silent and leaves no pollution behind. At a time when cities are choking, this technology is emerging as a true hope for the future. A path that is above noise and congestion and as clean as air. The world of flying vehicles is still in its infancy, but what Xpeng has done makes it clear that this dream is no longer a fantasy of the past. They have laid the foundation for a future that is neither too far away nor out of a science fiction film. The Xpang X2 is not just a flying car, it is a whole concept that shows what the future could be like. We usually think of technology as a gradual intro into our lives, but some inventions come with a bang. Spinning rotors, bright lights, and the promise of changing the face of cities. The Xpang X2 is being developed specifically as a personal air taxi. Its purpose is to take people from the ground to the skies in traffic-clogged cities, and that too in a very simple way. It can be used in 2 different modes, manual and autonomous. If a pilot wants to fly it himself, then in manual mode, he has full control. But for those who just want to enjoy the journey, the autonomous mode is no less than a boon. In this mode, the passenger just has to press a button, choose the destination, and then the computer handles the entire route, from takeoff to landing. That means you do not have to do anything. The backbone of this entire system is the X2's intelligent flight software, which not only chooses the safest route, but also ensures that local aviation rules are followed. Every country has its own flight laws, and this system understands them and behaves accordingly. Whether the flight is from a city in China or from any other country, this flying car adapts itself accordingly. If we talk about the cockpit, then it is not the interior of any ordinary car. It has been designed in such a way that passengers get an open and comfortable experience. Through the large windows, you can see the city flying in the air from a new perspective. It does not give the experience of sitting in a closed box. Rather, it feels as if you have become a part of the air yourself. The Xpang X2 isn't just a ride, it's an experience, one that gives a glimpse of what's to come and proves that the future is no longer far away, but flying right above our heads. The cockpit inside the Xpang X2 looks like a small spaceship, but that doesn't mean it's hard to understand. Its design is so simple and intuitive that anyone can understand its controls at first glance. All buttons and screens are placed where hands can reach. The most special thing is its floating screen, which not only looks great, but also shows all the important information related to the flight. Flight direction, altitude, route map, and status updates, in a very clear manner. All this is to keep the passengers fully updated at any time. But the Xpang X2 is not limited to just transporting people from one place to another. Its possibilities are much bigger. Imagine flying over the city and showing tourists a view that is never possible while walking on the ground. Or in a medical emergency, bypassing the traffic and taking the patient straight to the hospital. In cities where there is constant speed and congestion, a vehicle flying in the air can become not just a luxury, but a necessity. And this is why the X2 is being called a real glimpse of the times to come. To turn this idea into reality, Xpeng took a big and bold step in 2022. The company did the first public test flight of its X2 flying car in Dubai. This was not a secret trial, but it took place in front of the world, in the open sky, near Skydive Dubai. Not only this, special permission was also taken from the Civil Aviation Organization of Dubai for this flight. Around 150 special guests were present at this event, including Dubai officials, members of the International Chamber of Commerce, people from the World Trade Center, and the Chinese consulate. Apart from this, the media from all over the world was also watching this flight. Although there was no human on board this flight, its significance was no less than a historic achievement. Months of hard work were hidden behind this moment. Xpeng made no compromises on safety and flight procedures. Every potential risk was assessed. Every step was meticulously tested. Working closely with Dubai's regulations, a special team from the company played a key role in making this entire test flight a success. And when the X2 took to the skies, cutting through the sandy air of Dubai, it wasn't just a demo. It was a knock at a future whose imagination is now becoming a reality. To make the X2 a flying car, the company did a lot of research and development to ensure that it was not just a flying system, but also a safe and practical system. They meticulously compiled every technical data from research and development, and then developed a detailed operation manual that not only explained the technical process, but also identified potential hazards and ways to avoid them, in accordance with international flight standards. Xpeng did not do this alone. They also partnered with the Academy of Sciences and the Dubai Civil Aviation Authority, DCAA, to create a precise risk reduction plan to ensure that every second from takeoff to landing was safe. Once the entire plan was reviewed and approved, the X2 was given the green light for its first public flight. After the event, Xpeng indicated that this demo of the X2 was just the beginning. The real goal was to develop a version that was better suited for low-altitude city flights that could become part of everyday travel. The flying car is designed to normally fly at an altitude of about 300 feet, but can reach up to 3,200 feet if needed. Even though its flight duration is just under 35 minutes, it is enough time to travel within the city. This public test flight in Dubai not only demonstrated technology, but also gave people a glimpse of the future. Many people had so far only imagined what flying cars would be like. But that day, they saw it in reality before their eyes. No noise, no fuel fumes, an electric aircraft was seen rising into the sky and flying over the city. This was also a big turning point for Xpeng Aero HT. This was not just an event in Dubai, but an opportunity to show the whole world that flying urban mobility is no longer a theory in a laboratory, but a reality that can be seen with the eyes. The echo of this event was also heard by the leaders and officials present there. Hassan Al-Hashmi, acting Director General of Dubai Chambers, said from the stage that the flight of the X2 reflected the same vision that has kept Dubai at the forefront of technological and urban development for years. He called the moment historic, one that people will remember for decades to come. According to him, it is not just a machine, but a symbol of a revolution that will change the way people live and travel. This flight of Xpeng was not an ending, but the beginning of a new journey. The concept of flying cars has now moved from the confines of papers and labs to the open skies, above a living city, where people saw with their own eyes not just a show, but the beginning of a new world. Xpeng's flying car X2 reached what had seemed like a pipe dream in 2023. This time it wasn't just a test flight. It was an official flight, for which the X2 had received an official flight license from China's Civil Aviation Authority. This made the X2 the first manned electric flying vehicle, eVTOL, in China to be legally allowed to fly. This achievement not only marked a milestone for Xpeng, but it was also part of a broader plan to create what is known in China as the low-altitude economy. You may not have heard the term before, but this economy is growing so fast that it could set a new trend for the whole world in the coming years. It includes all flying vehicles, from drones to air taxis, that fly at an altitude of 1,000 meters or less above the ground. Think air routes that bypass traffic in cities, aircraft that monitor crops, drones that deliver relief to remote areas, and small air vehicles that deliver everyday packages. These are all part of this economy. China sees this sector as a whole new economic revolution. Government reports suggest that the market could be worth 3.5 trillion yuan by 2035. This is no mere promise, but the policies, investments, and technology behind it are all working rapidly. Airspace regulations are easing. Artificial intelligence has made flights smarter and safer, and people can now control these flying vehicles themselves or leave them in fully autonomous mode. It's not just technology companies. Battery manufacturers, motor designers, software developers, and even agricultural technology startups are jumping into this air economy. Everyone is making their way onto this new sky highway, and when hundreds of technical pieces come together, a bigger picture is formed, a picture that shows us the way to the flying world of the future. Now that the Xpang X2 has been officially approved, the company's intentions are even bigger. Their next step is more test flights, more data, and eventually mass production. Yes, they are not rushing, but they are not stopping either, because this flight is no longer just about a machine. It is about an idea that is going to take off from the ground and create a new world in the air. For Xpeng, this license is not a destination, but the beginning of a flight that is going to take the whole world into a new era. When Xpeng surprised the world with its flying car X2, no one thought that it would introduce something even bigger so soon. But in 2024, it introduced something that once again caught everyone's attention. Land aircraft carrier, that is, a vehicle that runs on land and also has the ability to fly. Don't be confused by the name, this is not a seaplane, but a new bridge between land and air. A high-tech vehicle that can run in both worlds. To understand this concept, it has to be divided into two parts. The first part is the road carrier, which Xpeng calls the mothership. Its size seems to be a cross between a strong minivan and a Tesla Cybertruck. About 5.5 meters in length, 2 meters in width, and about 2 meters in height. Its 6 wheels and 3 axles not only make it powerful, but also make it have a great presence on the road. The design is simple yet futuristic. Clean body lines, hidden door handles, and no side mirrors, indicating that it is still in the development phase. Now, at its heart, it runs on an EV-verse system, i.e., extended range electric vehicle. There is an engine, but not to turn the wheels, but to power the motor and battery. This technology allows the vehicle to cover a distance of about 1,000 kilometers, making it extremely useful. Now, let's move on to the other part of this ground flying magic, the flying unit. This part looks like a big drone, but not only flies, but can handle takeoff, landing, and navigation in smart ways. Either run it with manual control or leave it in fully autonomous mode. Both options are available. And the most important thing, the flying vehicle docks right on top of the road vehicle. When it's time to fly, its 6 rotors slowly unfold, and it lifts into the air. The design is not just stylish, but also practical. Since it fits on the roof or trunk of an aircraft carrier, its rotor blades fold inward. Currently, it takes about 4 minutes to get the module ready for flight, but the team is working on reducing that to 3 minutes. Once it's docked, it starts charging directly from the vehicle itself. Thanks to an 800-volt high-voltage charging system, it can charge from 30% to 80% in just 18 minutes, and on a full charge, it's capable of flying for about 5 to 6 short flights. This kind of setup not only reshapes the future of transportation, but it could also make flying as seamless in our everyday lives as driving is today. Imagine taking off from outside your home, flying over traffic, and then docking back into your vehicle to charge when you're done. No piloting, no waiting hours, and best of all, the air unit can be controlled with a manual joystick, or take off, land, and plan a route completely on its own. Freedom for those who love flying. And a seamless ride for those who just want relaxation. This technology is no longer science fiction, but a reality we can see with our own eyes. And soon, maybe even feel. Xpeng's project isn't just a science fair stunt, but part of a well-thought-out, long-term plan. Their goal isn't just to build flying cars, but to bridge the gap between air and land, to create a transportation system that blends the two. Even though the technology hasn't hit the market yet, the seriousness with which it's being pursued makes it clear that Xpeng wants to radically change the way we travel. It's not a question of whether you'd rather buy a car or a flying machine. It's a question of why not buy both at the same time. The land aircraft carrier isn't just a vehicle, it's a complete experience. It's designed to drive on the road when needed and then take to the skies. This feature, where you can shift from driving to flying with the touch of a button, is far beyond any conventional car today. Xpeng's new concept shows that they are not just flying over the city, but they are dreaming even bigger. A dream that can bring revolution. Now let's talk about its real use. This is not just a high-tech toy made for show-off. Xpeng has designed it specifically for situations where every second of time is precious. Like in a medical emergency, when it is difficult to get through the traffic, or an accident site where roads are closed, or situations like flood and debris. This vehicle can reach where normal vehicles are stuck and can fly out as soon as needed. Initially, it will be used only in specific and controlled areas, like for government services or public emergency operations. This does not mean that from tomorrow it will be seen flying over your house, but its purpose is to show how useful flying vehicles can actually be. If everything goes according to plan, this project will take us even closer to a future world where air mobility will be a common thing. And Xpeng is not alone. Xpeng recently raised a whopping $150 million in a Series B funding round. This funding is now going directly towards product development, scaling, and commercial launch. Interestingly, Xpeng is not alone in this race. Luftcar, a company based in Orlando, US, is also working on a similar flying vehicle that can fly with a ground-based unit. They call it a flying forklift that can pick up and move the land vehicle if needed. It can be said that both these companies are working on the same idea, to create vehicles that can bridge the gap between air and ground. And if these plans succeed, the future may be of hybrid flying vehicles that will completely change the way we travel. Now let's return to the revolutionary concept that Xpeng Aero HT has named Land Aircraft Carrier. Initially, the company planned to start its production by 2025, and Chinese customers could buy their first flying vehicle that year. But now, this deadline has been pushed further. The company said that they need more time to fully prepare their new manufacturing facility, because they do not want to bring any kind of incomplete product to the market. Now its production timeline has been set to 2026. When this vehicle comes to market, China will be among the first countries to adopt it. The reason is clear. Road and air traffic rules here are already being prepared according to modern flying vehicles. This has increased the speed of adoption of this technology. Now it comes to the price. Although the company has not yet disclosed its official price, but according to the information that has come out so far, its price can be less than $300,000. While that may sound like a hefty amount, when you consider that this is a vehicle that not only runs but flies, the price isn't that surprising for the technology. What's more, even before its launch, people are excited about it. The Xpang X2 has already received over 310 pre-orders. And it's not just China. It's being talked about in other parts of the world too. Now let's take a step back and think about how big a change all this can really bring. There was a time when flying cars were only seen in the movies, but today they are moving from engineering desks to reality. Yes, they still aren't the common man's car, but no major change in technology happens overnight. It takes years of research, testing, policy changes, and building trust in people. There are real challenges ahead. How to manage air traffic, ensure flight safety in different weather conditions, how long the battery will last, and will everyone learn to fly on their own or rely on AI-based autopilots? Governments will also have to decide which routes will be open to these vehicles and where they will not be allowed to fly. Cities will have to create landing and takeoff zones for flying cars, and people will have to get used to the sight of these flying vehicles. If you like this information, like the video and subscribe to the channel, because on Decode Wire we bring you every story related to the future, which is a fantasy today but is going to become a reality tomorrow.